What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, as I remarked in yesterday's video, we're actually backlogged on Marvel scoops. We have so much news to go over from the last 2 weeks. Keep it tuned here at the channel and for the rest of the holiday season, because I'll be doing 2-a-days. But I know I promised we were kicking back up the watch parties. I just didn't realize they were actually going to go live tonight. The marketing has had them going live on the 22nd, literally leading up to today. They need to really adjust that for the new releases now being earlier in the night before, and adjust the dates going forward. Hopefully they will, fingers crossed. Really sorry, guys. I planned around starting tomorrow night. I've got plans with my family tonight for the holiday season. Now, in the meantime, and as it pertains to these backlog scoops, we're going to start with a major update for Avengers 5. Not only keeping Kang involved and in some way alluding to the fact that they are eventually going to recast Kang, and that has been the sentiment from industry insider Daniel Rickman since he started scooping this long before the trial ever took place. But he weighed in today with a full detailed account for Avengers 5 and what Marvel Studios is looking to do, not just with Kang the villain, but also with the team, the director, and according to him, there should be an announcement of sorts right around the corner. We're breaking down the latest update in full, coming from a trusted industry insider source, talking about what the new picture for Avengers 5 looks like and the plan to keep Kang. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews, to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is next week to coincide with the What If finale, and then one just a couple of weeks after that for Echo's release in January. Again, all you got to do is be a sub, leave a comment on this video if you want, stick around to the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so today's update actually comes from Daniel RPK. He is one of the trusted industry insider sources. You could follow him over on RPK News at Twitter, who has since the beginning, and as I said during the prologue, said that they would always just recast Kang and that he will stay the villain in Avengers Secret Wars. He's been saying this, he's never changed, no matter what other industry insiders say, like Variety or The Hollywood Reporter. He's been adamant that they will always just keep Kang a part of the story, but then broke the news that they were changing the title from Kang Dynasty, and that only supported the idea we might have a different villain. This is what he scoops about Avengers 5 as far as he knows now in the wake of them removing Jonathan Majors as Kang. Quote, "The idea is to still include Kang in some capacity in the now untitled Avengers 5. So even though they're not going with the title of Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty anymore, they're still going to include him in some element in that film. And again, this all points to a recast instead of them changing the villains." I know that there are breaking stories everywhere and from trusted sources that are on either side of this argument, and so this is one I'm going to say, guys, really grain of salt until Marvel announces it, because there are trusted sources and proven track records on either side of this report. And I know it broke that Jonathan Boyega was one of the names that immediately came up. As I said this a couple of days ago, he showed up in literally concept art within 12 hours of Jonathan Majors being removed from Kang, but Jonathan Boyega weighed in immediately, said he didn't want it, and I think there might be a lot of difficulty, A, trying to recast this role, and B, a lot of connotation that goes around the role of Kang, and that's why, again, I think it's easier for them to pivot. But with some of the recent scoopers saying we might not see Kang again until the very end of the Multiverse saga, you may imagine that with some time in between what's happened here recently and them needing to recast for that role, they might be able to come up with something. Still, let's press on. The plan is to start shooting now in late 2024. As you guys know, it was actually set to start rolling film in early 2024, but now with the reworking of the script and whatever they've got to do with the director, which we're about to get to, they are now going to start shooting Avengers 5 in late 2024. Also, keep in mind, guys, it may seem a little early for them to be doing this, and as I was talking with some of my colleagues about this, it's hard to believe that they can see the big picture because we have no idea what it is. But keep in mind, these Avengers films take so long to film and finish, especially with VFX. They've been working on the pre-production for that film for probably over a year and a half, so there's still a lot of reason for them to want to go with Kang, and mostly you have to imagine it's because of the sunk cost of what they've been planning to do with this film from the beginning. Can you imagine how many storyboards and or major beats from the stories that they've been planning on for this point for Avengers 5 and 6 would need to be reworked if they pivoted off the villain? That's unless they were leaving themselves a contingency plan the whole time. And keep in mind, it wasn't like this verdict went down and then Marvel Studios all of a sudden had to scramble to figure out what to do. That's what they've been doing for a majority of this year while the writers and actors have been on strike, planning their contingency for how things might change. Still, it's not an easy decision, and I'm sure that there are a lot of pros and cons with either way they decide to move forward. But you have to imagine that this isn't something, the wheels aren't starting to turn right now. The wheels have been turning for quite some time as they probably close in on exactly what they're going to do in their pivot and change, whether it'll just be a diminished role for Kang and an ultimate recast at the end of the Multiverse saga, or a full-on embracing of a totally separate villain, which again is exactly what I think they should do and just pivot into Doctor Doom because it's Secret Wars and it's Doctor Doom. Now in the next part of the scoop he says that they are searching for a director and one should be announced in the coming months, and that only makes sense from the standpoint if they're going to roll film you have to have a director to shoot the film in the first place, so they may be cutting this super close with a lot of movies, say locking in the team for the Fantastic Four a month before they're set to go to filming, but they've got a little time to get into this year and find a director, and I still think one director might end up picking up both Avengers films. He then says that this first Avengers movie, Avengers 5, will have a limited number of Avengers on the team, and I think we always sort of supposed that it would be a much smaller picture, maybe not even as big as Infinity War was, and then really expand into all the alternate multiverse characters at the end of Secret Wars and build from there. Now, obviously, there is still a ton of planning to happen over on Marvel Studios' part, and I actually like the fact that they're going to get another 6 months before D23 or, say, a San Diego Comic-Con for them really to dot their I's, cross their T's, and figure out what they're doing and how they're moving forward. But for those of you who think that it is too late to include Doctor Doom, I would argue that they've only spent one phase on Kang and would have 2 phases to spend on Doctor Doom. And if he saw any significant screen time and dialogue in any upcoming film, say like Shang-Chi 2 or Doctor Strange 3, and then say a place he would more likely show up like Armor Wars, then Marvel Studios would have a chance to actually develop that character more than they ever did with Thanos. And yes, I know a ton has been put into Jonathan Majors' Kang and Kang in general. I just mentioned that during this video. There is a sunk cost that goes in with them planning for this, and they're already so far down that road. But as I've said since the beginning, because of the situation that we're in now, Doctor Doom is the classic Secret Wars villain. Now you have a chance to do him, and if Variety's article was 100% true and that it had already been discussed, that means it's on the table still anyway. They might as well choose it or at least consider it as an option. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. Who you got as the recast for Kang? Who do you want to see as the initial members of the Avengers when they finally are formed in Avengers 5? And what do you want the rest of this multiverse saga to look like and focus on now that we've had all of these changes and there's inevitably more changes to come? I'm all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we're still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel, and we've actually got 2 to give away in the next couple of weeks. One next week for What If finale on the 30th, and then one about a week after that for the drop of Echo on Disney+. We're also going to be doing a daily comic book variant giveaway starting tomorrow to coincide with What If. If you want to be entered to win, super simple, all the same rules will apply for any future giveaways here at the channel too. All you got to do, be a subscriber, then leave a comment on this video, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.